Hello, ni hao, 안녕하세요, and xin chào. Raise your hand if you've ever smiled at a stranger on the street. Oh, a lot? Oh, surprising. So I believe those who do often can make others smile back. And in this process, we can know that it creates a micro moment. And that's why I'm here today, as I want to talk about something micro, but really important. Micro connection. What are micro connections? Micro connections are small everyday interaction with people, whether you know them or not. So as micro connections are small everyday interaction, some people think micro connections are unimportant. But think of it as if it was a Wi-Fi network. One bar will not load your movie well. But with no bars at all, you're disconnected. Micro connections work the same. With no connections, you're isolated. With time, they can help us connect with others, make friends, and ultimately changing our life. Saying simple things like, "Hi, how are you? Nice weather today." Yes, it may sound small, but it can have a big result, and it can start big relationship. And here's Aiden, my cousin. Yes, I know he's handsome, so please don't ask me for his phone number. He has a girlfriend, surprisingly. So, yeah, he lives in the US, so we met only once. So many people thought we would never be close. In fact, I've been living in Asia my whole life, and he lives in the other side of the world. So we play game each other and started to sending messages like, "How are you?" or "What nice weather today." We were just frankly at first awkward. Yes, we felt like strangers, but slowly we talked more and more, and those tiny exchanges turned into conversation. And guess what? Now he's my best friend. Even we live far apart, and those tiny connections, those simple things like good morning, help us stay close and get to know each other. And now he became one of the most important people in my life. So back to my first question I asked you, what could your tiny smile be? And how can it help us microconnect? This means that little by little, our actions and words can bring people together, even across borders. Through a simple text, an online chat game, or a smile, you can change your life or life of others. Think about Carl from movie Up, a grumpy man who lost his wife. Remember him sitting alone in front of his house, just like a photo? That's what life may look like without micro connections. No Wi-Fi bars, total isolation. But after, he met a young kid called Russell. Russell kept showing up and saying hello to Carl. It may be silly or awkward, and you say insignificant. But those tiny connections change Carl's life to a life filled with love and adventure. But Carl's story is not just a movie, it's reality. In 2024, a national poll on healthy aging said that 34% of people aged 50 to 80 felt lonely. That's about 1 in 3 older people living in isolation, and 1 in 3 people who might be sitting alone in front of their house, just like Carl was. And 1 in 3 people who might be wondering if a kid will say hello, a stranger will smile at them, or even a delivery man acknowledge them. But these adults are not the only one. The same study shows that the young kids aged 18 to 22 are now the loneliest generation. Surprising, but not really. Look around the metro, heads down, phones up. Phones replaced our smile, and earpods replaced our hello. So we've never been more connected, yet eye contact. But you know what's the irony? Technology helped me to connect with my cousin, so the problem is not technology itself, it's how we use it. Now you may ask, why don't more people try micro-connecting? As Grant Vetter, who is economic sociologist, said that weak ties are often negligible, but in some contexts, it can usefully be distinguished from an absence of a tie. What does it mean? It means that micro connections are often seen as negligible or unimportant. But Grandeur had to remind us that it is not unimportant, it is not nothing. Yes, even like weak ties can give us access to new network or opportunity. So yes, of course, they might be small, but they can have a big impact. Back to my Discover China, I asked my classmates why would they not interact with the organizer. Most of them said, I'm shy, or I do not care about them, or I will not see them again in the future. It's kind of rude, right? But as Granovetter said, ignorance will not have positive impact. A hi, a smile, a thank you are enough to bring a spark in someone's life. But it's to feel visible and appreciated. But we do not want people to have a full conversation. But we do not want people to feel ignored. So now you may tell me, but I don't speak the language. How can I connect with them? How can I try micro-connecting? Good question. Let me tell you a story. When I first moved to China, ni hao was the only word I could say. But every time I would meet a neighbor or security guard, I would say hello, hi, good morning, or ni hao. But at first, they didn't say much. Just a quick glance and maybe a nod. But slowly things started to change. They start smile back at me, and some even start greeting me first before I did. Then one day, I lost my lunch card. I thought it was gone for good, but I was so upset because lunch card was the only way I could buy a food in school. Until a security guard stopped me, smiled at me, and held it out. He remembered me. That's when I realized those little moments, those tiny connections, matter than we think. And a simple hi can open the door to kindness, trust, and unexpected support. Micro connections don't just let us feel seen, but also it can help us to feel like we belong. They're the link, the bridges between people and culture. And as the research say, the more bridges we have in the community, the more cohesive the community. Just like a butterfly effect, a small action can make a big result. So your hello today make others smile, and this is a superpower, and everyone has it. So if all superheroes we are would use it, I believe that we would live in much kinder world. So now, look at your person next to you, please. Yeah, that person, correct. And ask them, how's your day going? Be brave, and you can do this. That's all it takes. Thank you.